So you want to become a UGC creator by the end of the year. I totally get why. Creating UGC content is one of the best ways to earn money online at the moment. However, you might be stuck as to how exactly you get there. How do you go from no experience to getting paid by brands to create content for their social media channels? Well, you're in the right place, because in today's video, I'm going to break down exactly how you can become a paid UGC creator by the end of the year. By the way, this video is sponsored by Riverside. More on them later. All right, so step one might surprise you. The first thing you need to do is set yourself a deadline and define a win. Now, bear with me here, because it's important that we do this step before we dive into pitching, creating a portfolio, all of that good stuff. If you don't define what success looks like for you, then it's going to be very difficult for you to reach that point. This doesn't have to be difficult, just steal this template. By December 31st, I want to earn, insert the amount of money that you would like to earn per month through UGC content creation, consistently through UGC. Write that down, put it as a screensaver on your phone, print it out and put it on your fridge. Do what you need to do so that you are consistently reminded of that goal. It will help keep you on track, I promise you. Bonus points if you go public with your goal. So if you tell people that is what your goal is, this is a great way to hold yourself accountable. All right, step number 2 is all to do with research. We can't walk before we run. Wait.
What?
You can't run before you walk. That was embarrassing. What I mean is that it's important for you to spend some time doing research before you go ahead and jump straight into UGC. Fortunately for you, this research period is actually quite fun for UGC creators, because all I want you to do is spend 1 week consuming UGC content on TikTok and Instagram. These are the biggest platforms for this style of content. In order for you to do this, I want you to open up either of the apps, head to the search function and type in something like UGC creator. UGC creators will pop up. I want you to click on their profiles and just consume their content. Another way you can do this is to keep an eye out for brands who seem to share a lot of UGC content. You might see their content pop up every now and again on your explore feeds or your For You page. You might even have a few brands will immediately come to mind. I want you to spend some time consuming that content too, because it's going to help immerse yourself in the world of UGC. The next thing I want you to do is to build folders on TikTok and Instagram, or either or, I don't really mind, which has at least 30 different examples of UGC content that you personally like. So every time you come across a UGC video and you think, oh, that was actually well done, I want you to save it to that folder. Now, when you get to the end of the researching week, I want you to go back into that folder and spend some time analyzing the content. Ask yourself, what is it about that video or that photo that you enjoyed? Is there something that the creator is doing that's keeping you engaged? Are there any editing styles that you could take inspiration from for your future content? What kind of lighting do you think those creators are using? If you were going to create a piece of UGC content for the same brand, what would you do differently? Ask yourself those questions, write down all of the answers, and just like that, you would have completed your first week of research, and you would have a far better grasp and understanding of what makes UGC content truly effective. Remember, we're trying to build a long-term UGC career here, so we actually want to be good at creating UGC content. So that step's going to help you get there. Step 3, get clear on the brands you want to work with. Now, this is a step that a lot of people ignore, because people think that if they want to get paid work as a UGC creator, they need to be willing to work with every single brand. I totally get where this thought process comes from. It's a very similar thought process that most people who start businesses go through, where they're like, oh, I'm going to create a product for everyone. The truth is, if you're trying to target everyone, you're actually targeting no one. In order for you to really appeal to brands and actually convince these brands to want to hire you, you need to demonstrate that you have a genuine interest in their product category or in their niche. It's a very difficult thing to do if you've decided that you're actually interested in every product and every niche. Let me give you an example. Let's say I had a beauty brand and I was looking for UGC creators to create content for my beauty brand. When it comes to the UGC creators that I'm going to hire, I'm going to focus on the ones who have portfolios which clearly demonstrate an interest in beauty brands, the fact that they've worked with beauty brands before, and a general understanding of what a beauty brand is. I'm not necessarily going to pick the UGC creator who has worked with beauty brands, but also works with tech companies and outdoor companies and all these other different companies as well. I'm actually going to go with the ones who focus on beauty. This tip is especially relevant in this day and age, because there are a lot of UGC creators out there. And if you are able to pick a niche and pick a product category, it will help you stand out when it comes to working with those specific brands. So I want you to pick a product category that you genuinely enjoy creating content for. So as I said, maybe it's beauty, maybe it's fashion, maybe it's tech, maybe it's What other categories? Maybe it's health and fitness, maybe it's wellness, maybe it's pet care, etc. We're going to move on to talk about your portfolio shortly, but it's important to note that when you're creating and building your portfolio, all of your content should focus on that product category or niche that you're going to be focusing on. Remember that when it comes to UGC, having a niche means that you have a focus, and it also means that you have authority. Brands want to work with creators who live and breathe their products. Step number 4, create your first batch of UGC content. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Jade, why are we creating UGC content? No one's paying us yet. I understand. The thing is, in order for you to get brands to pay you for your UGC content, you actually need to create UGC content first so that they can review it and see what you're capable of. So, warning, this step will require you to do some work that you are not being paid to do. That is a controversial thing, and it's such a nuanced conversation, which I could do a whole video on if you would like me to. Let me know in the comments. For the purpose of this video though, we need to build a portfolio, and in order for you to do that, you need to have a batch of content that you have created in advance, even if no one has paid you to create it. So now that I've got that disclaimer out of the way, when it comes to creating your first batch of UGC content, I don't want you to spend loads of money on fancy kit because, as I've just mentioned, you're not getting paid yet. You can just start using your phone. Now, when it comes to using your phone, you want to use the rear cameras. I've actually smashed this part of my phone. So, if you've done that, then maybe not the best route to use your phone, but you want to use the rear cameras on your phone because these are always significantly higher quality than your front camera. You may need to invest in a basic tripod. I will put a link to one that I recommend below that isn't too expensive. Now, the other thing that you're going to need is some source of good lighting. This is non-negotiable. If your lighting is bad in your content, there is a very small chance that your content is going to appeal to brands and make them want to work with you. Now, there's different sources of lighting that you can use. The cheapest source is natural light because, that comes from the sky. To use natural lighting, you just need to locate the best light source in your home. Natural lighting can be totally enough for pieces to camera. So videos where you're speaking to the camera and showing a product like this, that can work really well because you just need a window that's facing you dead on. Where natural lighting will become more challenging is if you're trying to do anything like overhead shots, or you're trying to film at night or in locations where the lighting is generally pretty dim. On those occasions, you may need to invest in your own artificial lighting. Now, the lights that I use to film these videos are from Newer, and they are the best lights that I've used in a really long time. I will link those below, but they are best suited for like at-home studios. They're not portable. Trust me, I took them with me to central London once, and my God, was that a difficult commute. Alternatively, you can invest in smaller lights like the Elgato Key Light Mini, which I also like to use when I'm on the go, and I will link that one below as well. When it comes to your microphones, this might be controversial. You might actually be fine without one for a while. The reason why is because you're filming content on your phone, which usually has pretty decent audio. As long as you're doing it in a space that is quiet, you should actually be okay. If you want to invest in your own mic that's going to be higher quality though, I do recommend the DJI microphones. They're wireless, you can connect them to your phone. They are a little bit on the more expensive side, but they're pretty good quality. Now that you've got your kit set up, what we now need to do is create 3 to 4 demo videos. So these are 3 to 4 videos that you're going to use in your portfolio to demonstrate the type of work that you can do. I don't want you to spend money on any products when it comes to these videos. Instead, what I want you to do is look at the products that you currently have, which are aligned with the niche that you previously selected. So for my example, I said beauty. So I would go and raid my skincare cupboard and find my favorite products, and I would use those for the demo video. Now that you've got the products that you want to feature in your demo videos, I want you to go ahead and film your first video. A lot of people get stuck at this point because it's like, what am I supposed to say in this video? And I want you to spend some time actually thinking about that before you go ahead and just press record. In terms of what you want to say, use this formula. The first part of your video should be the intrigue section. So this is basically where you hook your audience in with something that sparks curiosity or grabs their attention. For example, have you ever stumbled across a creator's video who has complete glass skin and asked yourself, how do they achieve that? Intrigue, right? That's the hook. The next section is where you provide an outcome or an answer to the intrigue. So for example, with this one, it would be, well, I think I finally found the product which helps you achieve this. It's called blah, blah, blah. And this is what it does. And this is what it has inside it. And within that video, you're showing yourself using the product and you're showing the before and afters of your skin. The next section is the emotional section. So you want to have a line in there which really ties the importance of this product to some form of emotion within you. For example, I can't tell you how relieved I am to have finally stumbled across a product that actually works for me, right? The emotion there is the pure relief and joy from the fact that you found this product that helps you achieve this glass skin. The final section is the call to action. So this is basically when you ask your audience to do something. For example, if you're looking to achieve glass skin, then I recommend checking out this product. Like obviously say what the product's called, but I don't have one in mind. So that's an example of a UGC script that you can use for your demo videos. Okay, step number 5 is all about post-production. This is when we take those videos that you've just filmed, we edit them, get them looking nice and polished, save them to a folder, and then carry on with our business. Now, it's important that this is a separate step because the way that you edit your videos has a huge impact in how your videos actually perform. Now, if you're just getting started with the world of video editing, then you're in luck because there is a tool that's going to make this process so much easier for you. The tool is called Riverside. Now, Riverside is an online studio for high quality podcast recording, video recording, and editing. It's powered by AI and it has so many incredible tools within, which makes editing your videos super quick and simple. Let me show you some of those tools now. So I've got my Riverside up on the screen and I've got one of my demo videos up. I always like to use a demo video because otherwise I'm just going to mess up one of the videos that I'm actually working on. Now, the first tool I want to show you that's going to help you edit your UGC content is going to be the text editor. So on the left of the screen, you can see that Riverside has provided a transcript of every single thing that I say within this video. I can then scroll through this transcript and I can highlight any sections that I no longer want in the video, such as this section. I can delete it and Riverside will cut that section from the actual video itself. This is such an easy way for you to trim and edit your videos. I cannot explain to you how much time you will save if you use the text editor to edit your clips. In addition to this, Riverside have a bunch of AI tools which will help you tighten up your videos and make them as effective as possible. Remember that we're creating demo videos here, so they need to be good so that when brands see them, they want to work with you, right? So a few ways that you can do this in just a few clicks. The first is to use the remove pauses setting. When you click this setting, Riverside will search for unnecessary pauses within your content and it will allow you to remove these pauses. You can even use this bar here to set how many pauses you actually want to remove. I'm going to go ahead and remove pretty much all of them, which basically means that my video will be really fast paced. A bit of a pro tip here, the faster pace your video, the more engaging it is and the more likely people are to continue watching it. The next feature you want to use is remove filler words. This does exactly what you think it will do. It will find filler words where you're saying, those unnecessary words that we all say. It will find those and it will remove them for you with just one click. Incredible. A similar tool to this, but slightly different, is the Find Fluff tool. This will allow Riverside to find when you are harping on and sharing a bunch of fluff in your videos, and it will remove that from that video. I always like to joke to people when I show them this tool that like, on this video, there's no fluff. It's like, we can't remove any fluff, my love, because you didn't share any fluff, just straight facts in my video. But if I did share fluff, that little button would be highlighted and I'd be able to remove it with just one click. Last but not least, there is a magic audio tool which allows you to enhance the audio in your videos. So if you decided just to go with your phone audio before investing in a mic, fear not, because this tool will allow your audio to sound like you invested in a mic. Also, a bit of a bonus thing here that I've just noticed when I logged into Riverside is that they have a new feature which allows you to search through all of your recordings by using a few keywords. So if I was looking for a video that I filmed 4 months ago where I spoke about the weather, I could type in weather and Riverside would find the video where I mentioned it. Amazing. You can sign up to Riverside using the link in my description box and you can get 15% off when you upgrade your plan by using code JADEBEESON. Thank me later. Okay, step number 6, we are building your portfolio. Now, there's a few different ways that you can build a portfolio as a UGC creator. You can create one on a platform like Adobe Express or Canva or Pixar, or you can use a social media platform to create one. For the purpose of this video, we're gonna go with the latter because it's easier for you to create. And honestly, it's the most effective when it comes to getting those initial brand deals off the ground. So you want to set up a channel on either TikTok or Instagram, which is specifically for showcasing your UGC work. Few things that you want to set up when it comes to this page. You want to have a bio that clearly states that you are a UGC creator. That should be in your nameplate. I'll put examples of where I'm talking about on the screen. That should be there. The reason why it needs to be there is because it will increase the chances of your channel appearing when someone searches for a UGC creator in the search bar. Once you've started working with brands, I want you to ask to get their permission to tag them in your bio. This is great for credibility when you can clearly say that I've worked with brands such as blah, 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 and then tag them, right? Make sure you get permission first. What I then want you to do is to upload that demo content that you just created. Upload all of it, do 1 post per day, make sure it's all on your channel so there's a batch of content there. Once you start to work with brands, I want you to always ask permission to share the work that you've created for them on your own channel. And I want you to get in the habit of sharing that content and building up that portfolio. Once you've got a good chunk of content on there, you can move on to using this pinned post strategy. So on TikTok and Instagram, you can pin 3 different posts which will appear at the top of your profile. This is especially useful when it comes to your UGC portfolio. What I want you to do is to find 2 posts which are your best examples of work. So these are posts which showcase your high quality recording, your amazing delivery of the script, whatever it might be. It's work that you look at and then you think, this is best in class example of what I can do. And then the third pin post, I want that to be a testimonial. So as you work with these brands and you ask for permission to mention them in your bio, to repost the content, I also want you to ask them for testimonials. Not all of them will give them to you, but some of them will. And I want you to find the best, most glowing testimonial that you get, upload it as a static graphic image to your Instagram or to your TikTok and pin it. What that will mean is that potential brands who you might want to work with in the future will be able to see examples of your best work and a testimonial from a brand the second they land on your portfolio page. Very powerful. All right, let's move on to the outreach section. You have done a lot of work so far. I'm super proud of you. It's now time to start pitching to brands. We are not in the business of just waiting for these opportunities to come to us. No, we roll up our sleeves and we go and get them. So I want you to target brands who are within your niche and who have a small to medium-sized following on Instagram or TikTok or both. The general recommendation here is that you're looking for brands who have under 100,000 followers. The reason why is because brands who have big followings are usually a little bit harder to get their attention and also to actually get them to pay you for work. Your favorite brand, as much as you love them, let's say they're Nike, for example, or Adidas, one of my personal favorites, as much as you love them, they are actually getting a lot of content created for them for free. So when it comes to spending money for content, they usually invest in it in like macro influencers. Those are like really big influencers or celebrities. So once you've found a handful of brands who you want to pitch to, I want you to send them either a DM or an email. To find their email address, just head on the website, go to the contact section and look for any email that starts with marketing or PR, right? You might want to just DM them alternatively. It's completely up to you. You want to send them a message that uses this rough template. Hey, brand name, I love your, and then specify products that you genuinely love. I'm a UGC creator who would love to create a video and then give an example of what you'd love to create to really showcase and then mention like a key benefit of that product that you want to showcase in that video. I'd love to work with you. Please check out this page for my portfolio, right? If you really want to make this system quick and easy for you when it comes to pitching, you can take the template that I just verbally said, pop that into ChatGPT with a few notes about the brand or the product that you want to work with, and ChatGPT will fill in that template for you and make it personalized for every brand. Really dropping the knowledge today. Try and challenge yourself to pitch to like 5 brands a week. Just really, really do it. You can do it. I have faith in you. Step number 8. You thought we were done, but we're not, because now we're going to turn one paid brand deal that you just got into repeat business. Right, there's a few things you need to do in order to do this. The first thing comes down to how you work with the brand on the first occasion. So what you want to make sure you're doing when you're working with brands is you're fulfilling the brief and you're doing this in a timely manner, and on occasion you might even want to over deliver. When I say over deliver, I don't mean they ask for 2 videos and you send them 10 and just give them permission to use it. What I mean is they ask for 2 videos, you give them 4 options and give them the opportunity to pick the 2 that they prefer. I know this is more work and you don't have to do this forever. However, in the early days when you're building this rapport with brands, over-delivering in this way is a great way for you to showcase what you can do without actually just giving them more content for free. Once you've worked with them the first time and you've over-delivered and you've done an amazing job, I want you to follow up with that brand and say something like, I'd love to create a short series of 3 to 5 videos for your next brand campaign. Can I send you a bundle rate? And see where it goes from there. If they agree and you're working with them again, that's when you want to start getting a retainer in place. So that's when you want to say something like, hey, I've really loved working with you so far, and I think I have a really great understanding of your products and your brand messaging. Would you be open to a retainer to ensure that we can continue working together, right? And you might want to offer a slight discount on your rate then. Speaking of rates, because I know you're probably thinking, what do I actually charge? There's actually a masterclass within my membership from a professional UGC creator who breaks down rates in such a great way and in so much detail. I really recommend you checking it out. I'll link to it below. You don't have to be a member to actually get access to this. I have like these bundles that you can purchase, which just gives you access to a bunch of different masterclasses and pitch templates and stuff. And it's just a one-off fee. I'll link to that below as well. But those are the best resources to consume when it comes to rates because it is a nuanced conversation. It's not one size fits all. Okay, so step number 9, we're almost there. We want to make sure that we are tracking our outreach and also analyzing how our outreach and our pitches are performing. Now, trust me, this is nowhere near as complicated as it sounds, and it's an incredibly useful thing to do if you want to have longevity in your career as a UGC creator. Now, what this basically involves doing is creating a spreadsheet which allows you to track the brand name, when you pitched to them, and what the response was. This is important because it will allow you to re-pitch to brands, and also it will allow you to revisit brands who you've worked with previously. A pro tip, if you want to take it one step further, is to actually include the pitch message that you used for each brand as well. So you're making note of the brand, when you pitched, but also what pitch you sent, because this might allow you to analyze which pitches are getting the best responses. And by the way, guys, this doesn't have to be this long manual effort of you analyzing this data. You can upload your tracker into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to analyze it and come up with some insight into which pitches are getting the best results. Whenever I teach videos like this, I just think, my God, would my life have been so much easier if I had AI when I first started my career? Like, oh my God. You should see my brand partnership pitch trackers. They were a mess. Step number 10. Yes, there really are 10 steps. It's actually 11 steps. This step is all about showcasing your journey. This isn't for everyone. However, to give yourself even more authority and maybe help extend your organic reach of your social media content, which will help you actually get more clients, you might want to document your journey of becoming a UGC creator. Show people the kit that you're using. Show people the behind the scenes of your content creation. It's a great way for you to build a broader audience and hopefully get more clients. Step number 11, my lucky number. I don't know why I did this. Like, it's kind of, I mean, does this count as 11? Maybe not. This is all about scaling and getting some good systems in place. Honestly, the main system that you want to have in place when it comes to this is batching your videos. So once you're working with brands on a regular basis, maybe you have a few repeat customers, you want to get in the habit of batch creating content, which basically means that you do the same tasks in small groups. So when it comes to UGC creation, I actually recommend that you batch based on the brand, because each brand has their own messaging and their own style. So instead of switching between brands in one session, I recommend that you sit down, you do your video prep, you do your production, your filming, and your editing for one brand in one batch. That is how I recommend that you get the best system for saving time and creating a lot of content. All right, my loves. My gosh, that was actually way more of a detailed video than I think I was planning to. I just kind of let myself run away with that one. I hope you found it useful. If you feel like hanging around, I recommend watching this video. It's all about how you can build a content creation workflow, which I have a sneaky feeling is going to be very valuable to you if you're going to start creating all of this content. Do not forget that you can join Riverside via the link in my description, and you can get 15% off when you upgrade your plan and use code Jade Beeson. Thank you so much for watching as always. I can't wait to see you in my next video.